Blog Talk Radio.
It's Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Once again, it's time for the most intriguing talk radio on the internet today. This is Sasquatch Radio. Breaking news and information from around the world. Interviews with men and women investigating the mystery. The latest high-tech equipment. Cutting-edge research techniques. And amazing discoveries. Real-life people sharing real-life encounters. The director and founder of Sasquatch, Washington, Virginia. Here is your host, Billy Willard. Something is out there in the dark, watching, waiting. It's time to unleash the beast. This is Sasquatch Radio.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Today is Monday, June 28th, 2010. I am your host, Billy Willard, and please welcome my great co-host, Mr. Mike Killen. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
Hey, Billy. I'm just fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine.
Good.
Yeah, we had, I don't know about you up in New York, but we had a little bit of a storm this afternoon that we saw what even appeared to be some funnel clouds forming out here. My kids were freaking out, saying, "Get in the basement." But it ended up being like a real short 5-minute burst of some wind came through. We had some pretty heavy rain. It lasted like 5 minutes and was gone.
Yeah, we didn't even get that this time, but last week we had a bad one come through. Same thing with short duration, maybe 15, 20 minutes at most, but I mean some real strong winds, you know.
Yeah.
All sorts of tree limbs got knocked down and power lines down, you know, a lot of people out of power and no phones, you know, these tree branches coming down on top of everything. But that was last week.
Yeah, I tell you, this heat's what's stirring it up because we've been in the triple digits for a few days. And I tell you what, it's, you know, when you put temperatures like that together with this humidity, man, it'll kill you. Yeah. Anybody with asthma, I mean, goes outside, I mean, you just can't breathe. So, yeah, it's pretty nasty. But anyway, tonight, I apologize, we don't have a guest again. I just have been so busy, I haven't even had the opportunity to send emails to anybody. And if anybody's ever noticed, my availability on Facebook has been pretty much null and void. It's very rare that I even have time to get on there anymore. But anyway, I decided that tonight would be a good opportunity to talk about a subject that I've actually gotten a few emails about, and especially with all the recent media, is a discussion about expeditions. And me and Mike has been on a few expeditions, and so I know we can talk about some of the stuff we've been on. But I've had a lot of people talking about, you know, are expeditions really successful? And I think for the most part, what most people mean by that is the mere number of people or researchers that you have on an expedition. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? And that's what we're going to discuss tonight. And I'm hoping that we'll have some folks who have maybe participated in some expeditions and maybe call in and tell us, you know, if you see in any expedition that you've been a part of, if you've seen any advantages, and certainly if you've seen any disadvantages, because this is a good learning experience for everyone that goes out and conducts these expeditions. You know, we could be talking about anything from a group size of 4 to 5 people, you know, to a group size of 20 to 30 people, you know. what's the advantages and disadvantages. So I think that would be a great topic tonight. And I see that we have pretty much a full switchboard up there, Mike. Do you want to go and screen those and see if they want to come on, or you want me to do that? It doesn't matter.
No, I can do it. That's no problem.
All right, I'll let you go into there.
I don't see anybody's hand up yet, but we'll double check with them and make sure. I think I know 2 of the numbers.
All right, well, I'll let you do that.
All right.
And I'll keep my ears open for when you return. All
righty, I'll be back.
All right, Mike. Basically, I've been on several expeditions, not expeditions of just my own group, but with other groups. I've been on expeditions with NESRA. I've been on expeditions with the PBS, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society. Let's see, the ABS, American Bigfoot Society. And yes, I'll admit it, guys. I was on an expedition with Tom Biscardi, but I won't say that too loud. Anyway, I think the majority of the folks will admit that large numbered expeditions, when you have, quite a few people out there, could be at some point a hindrance to collecting any kind of evidence. And I kind of agree, especially depending on the size of the area that you're researching. And that's my opinion. I think that if you have really good organization of the expedition and people who will cooperate with that organized effort, I think a large expedition could be successful, especially when you're talking about several thousand acres, for example. But no, a lot of people say that large-scale expeditions, you really don't get too many results. And, there's several folks that was on the latest expedition back in April that will tell you otherwise, although all of that would be considered circumstantial evidence. There were some strange events that happened that got everybody's attention. So I think it can go both ways. Smaller groups, of course, are nice, especially if you are out at an area where you can have a campfire or whatever, because we know a lot of sightings occur from just people camping and being by a campfire and cooking, hot dogs, burgers, or whatever. So I think small groups are great also, especially if you're dealing with a smaller piece of property. Let me check on Mike's progress here. All right, so he's got one here, Mark. Let me, I am going to pick up, let's see if I can grab this one right here. Area code 575, you're on the air.
Hi, Mike. It's William and Travis. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, William?
It's good. It's good out here. We have a little bit of cool weather after quite a bit of really hot weather. So
as long as you get, with them little storms and little cold front storms come through, I tell you, it drops the temperature
all week.
It's about 20 degrees here.
Yeah, it's going to be all week here, so that's really nice.
Now, William, remind everybody where you're from.
I'm from Virginia, from Culpeper.
Yep. Okay.
Originally.
Right. And so you got something you want to talk about expeditions? What's your thoughts?
I have an opinion for what that's
okay. All right. Let's hear it.
I wouldn't ever want to discourage anybody from doing it. And as a matter of fact, I think keep on doing it and see what happens. But my opinion right now is it's probably not too productive to have large groups of people in the same place, but that could change. The big fellow's attitude toward us could change, like ours has changed toward him.
Right.
Basically, that's all my opinion is about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, it's nice to hear different opinions on what people think. Some people that have been on expeditions have probably have some things that they can actually help us, appreciate as far as, things that have occurred in both small and large expeditions. And that's what I'm hoping we can hear tonight is find out if there has been success. What's that?
Time will tell.
That is correct. Time will tell. And like I say, we talked about this last week. A lot has changed in Bigfoot Researcher with this invent of the internet. Now we've got more people out there than ever before. So, things will change. So.
Absolutely.
All right, William. Well, we appreciate you calling in. Thanks a lot for calling in with the comment.
Thanks for taking my call.
Now, did you want to hold on the line just to listen, or
yeah.
Or you just?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll just mute you out then. Thanks, William. All right, and okay, Indy, I know you're on the line. He just put in there that you're on the line. Are you just listening in, or you just you got something to say about expeditions?
Well, I was just listening in, I'll say a few things about it. I've been on, I wouldn't call them expeditions. I'd call them more like outings because there wasn't that many of us. I went to one up in Indiana, Hoosier National Forest with me and Robin and some people from Indiana. Mm-hmm. And it turned out all right, not a lot, nothing major happened or anything like that. What's happens on most outings, let's put it that way,
Right.
Because you can't go out all the time. Every time something happens, it don't work like that. But
right.
Then went down to Texas, down to Craig's conference, and went out with Dan, Ricky, and Shasta and all them, and had a little like outing thing out at Lake of the Pines, in which we had some activity out there. And then, of course, I went down to West Virginia in 2003 with some people that belong to your Squatch Watch board.
Yep.
And we had our sighting down there.
Right.
On that expedition. Now, I think an expedition is good in certain ways, and in other ways, if you got good logistics, okay, an expedition could be great. But if you don't have your logistics set up, then it's going to be a big cluster. You know what? But
yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's a very true point, Steve, that you bring out, because if you go out there and you a lot of preparation is involved, and this. Preparation is involved, and that preparation entails getting plenty of aerial photographs of the site. Likely you've already been out there and kind of looked at the site yourself, either by yourself or with, one or two people, and with your aerial photos, with your topo maps and all of that stuff, and you can actually map out areas of interest. And then that way, once the expedition is started, and you have a planned out, plan of attack, so to speak, of what areas that you may have seen before that looked interesting to research, and that's probably key. So I mean, if you do that and you have a large enough property where you can spread people out, I could see where it could be good. I could see where it could be bad, and it's kind of like what William said. It's kind of a wait and see type thing. I mean, I've heard of large expeditions having success or people having sightings, and I've heard of people, just feeling like nothing was there, nothing ever happened.
Right.
It can go both ways.
But the thing is, with you talk about all the preparation for the outing and everything. If you got, let's say, like more than 10 people there, okay, you can sit down with each, break the people down into teams.
Right.
Okay, say it's Joe Smith and John Miller or whatever. They're good at the real hard terrain. They're good at tracking and stuff like that. Okay, well, there's been stuff over here in this quad. Mark the area off in quadrants. Send a 2-man team out to this quadrant. Let them check this out, and say you've got other people that's better at tracking, or not tracking, but casting and like gathering, whatever evidence they can find. Mm-hmm. And they're saying there's been a lot of tracks found in one certain area. You send them out to the second or third quadrant,
Right.
And that would it's kind of like I hate putting this together in the same sentence, but like a military operation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's. Yeah. No. It's a good point. Mike, are you back with us?
I am, in fact, back, Billy. Hey.
Okay, good. So everybody else, I assume, is just listening in.
Yeah, I ran through the list there.
Okay.
Oh, there's one that just popped up. I just clicked back on it. I was good down to line 6. I just see line 7. They got a hand up. So.
All right, I'll let you check him out.
Let me jump down there again. All right.
All right.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay. All right, Kite Squatch, and I apologize, guys, if I haven't seen or if I've missed one of y'all's questions. Kite Squatch says, question for me, does he feel that all that wood cutting going on nearby during the second half of the April expedition really discouraged the appearance of our big, hairy bipedal friends? Yes, Kite, I do. And that, because it was at that point that all of that started, that everything seemed to either come to a halt, or if we did hear anything at all, it seemed to be at a huge distance, whereas before we were hearing things rather close to our location. So, yeah, I believe that once they came over there and they started the logging efforts, that it really moved things away from the area. Because we had like 3 good days there before they started any logging efforts, and you know, we were having all kinds of strange events occur right to the point of that, and then they seemed to scatter or whatever. But yeah, I think that didn't help us at all. All right, we'll let Mike, let's see here. I think Mike's done. All right, let's hold on a minute. All right, Indy, are you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm still here, buddy.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure because I couldn't tell because the switchboard is fading, and whenever it fades like that, it scares me because it usually means everything's dropping. You back with me, Mike?
Yeah, I'm back again.
Okay.
I screened that last call. Yeah, that's another call that would like to come on.
All right.
Somebody we know.
Okay. Well, we'll get them on the air.
All right.
Smiter, you're on the air.
Oh, am I on the air?
You are on the air.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that expeditions have their value. If they didn't, people wouldn't keep doing them.
Mm-hmm.
But my main curiosity about it is, what are people's objectives when they go on expeditions? Just to get a photograph or a recording? What's the objective?
Right. I'll be honest with you. My main goal, obviously, is to get either some type of a photographic evidence or video. I mean, that's my main goal, and I know that I'm gonna have to be close. Because if I'm not close and I'm not going to get a good, clear picture, I'm not going to present it. That's my main goal. Is I got to have something that someone can look at and study, and be able to tell me, well, you know, that's interesting. That is, you know, that is not a suit. That is not a. I want something really good, and that's probably my main goal. And of course, the main objective, I think, of a lot of people is simply to prove the existence, to help all the people that have been ridiculed and made fun of all these years, to say, told y'all it existed.
Well, and I appreciate that. I really do. For me, that the evidence that is presented for the last 40-something years is more than enough to prove their existence.
And I agree with that too, Smiter. I mean, I agree that, you know, and we've had this discussion before, we have enough circumstantial evidence stacked together over this whole, you know, if this went to court, in the court of law, then we have enough evidence to point and say, you know, Sasquatch exists, period. Yeah. So, no, I agree with that. I really do.
For me, with all that evidence that does exist, I never went out the door with the intention of getting photographs or anything like that. Mine was just simply to have contact with them.
Right.
And so that was my objective when I went out the door. And I think that's why I've had so many experiences over the last couple of years. But, you know, everybody has their own objectives and what they want to do. And so I can tell you beyond the shadow of a doubt, if getting a photograph, a clear photograph, is what you want to do, I really doubt you'll be able to get one.
Well, I'm definitely going to give it my best shot.
Oh, I understand. I think approaching it from the aspect of just simply having contact would probably benefit you more. And then at some
Right.
point, you may be able to, after you've made contact with them, you may be able to get all the photographs you want.
Right.
So,
Well, we're allowing the recent expedition site. We're kind of allowing the property owner to make that contact, mainly because she's there all the time, you know.
right.
And I would think that if she's able to make that contact, and don't get me wrong, she is making some type of contact as far as they seem to be cooperating with her on taking certain items that she's leaving. If she continues in the fashion she's going, she may very well get exactly what she wants. But you know, again, she's there all the time, so I would think that they may be more comfortable with the fact that she's there, you know, most of the time. I'm sure they see her, so they'll probably be more comfortable with her. So.
Sure.
But anyway, yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up. And
Yeah,
did you have anything else?
No, I just wanted to encourage everybody to think about what your objectives are when you go out on an expedition, and realize that they may not be cooperative with the objectives you have.
Right.
It is their home, after all.
Yeah, and everybody might have a different objective too. You know, like you pointed out. I mean, some people may just want to have a sighting and be happy with that.
Sure.
You know, and others may want more than that. So, yeah, everybody, I think, probably has a different objective.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, and that's
All
enough
right.
for me. I just thank you for taking my call, Billy.
Okay, thanks, Smiter.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, and Mike, are you still with me?
I'm still here, yeah.
Okay. I don't want to leave you hanging there, buddy, in case you got some questions in the chat or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up, because when I was screening all those calls, the chat's just rolling right along.
I know. Well, just so you know, I did grab Kite Squatch's question while you were out, because I saw that one scroll across the screen, so I've got his taken care of.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the first one I got, unless he's got a second one. I don't know. I got one from Kite Squatch, I got one from Bill. And
Okay.
I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat. I know there's others here.
Okay. I'll let you go ahead and start with those.
So, yeah, I'm just trying to scroll through and grab the question. Here's one from Python Man here. So, like I said, that the chat just keeps chugging along whether I'm there or not. So, when I'm not there, it takes a bit of catching up to do here.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, I'm still copying questions from the chat, but let me ask Kite Squatch's first question.
Okay.
Question for Billy.
That's the one I got. That's the one I did already. Yep.
Did you answer it already?
Yep, I already answered that one.
Okay. Well, then Bill Green says, question, hey, Billy, are you going on any new expeditions at sighting locations, and are you investigating any new sightings, footprints, etc.?
Guess what, Bill? I've got an answer for you this week. Yes, I am. We, this past weekend, visited a new sighting report in Culpeper, Virginia, over in Culpeper County. Just to give everybody an idea, the sighting was a lady had called and said that her and her son were out late one evening outside the home, and they were hearing some rather strange noises, like something running through the woods, and they heard some other types of sounds that they'd never heard before. Matter of fact, her son recorded some of the sounds on his cell phone. One of them, in my opinion, sounded like a red fox, so that one I kind of discounted. But the second one he played me was very interesting. It sounded like one of the classic sounds from out on the West Coast, very similar to it, but also a little different. It had a little bit of a higher pitch sound to it. I thought that was interesting. They did see some eye shine behind a tree, and they said the reason that caught their attention was because of the height. Her son is actually 6'4", and he said the eye shine, he saw where the eye shine had came from on this tree that was in their yard, and he said the eye shine was actually level with the limb, and he stood there, and it was a good 8 feet up. So they saw eye shine at about 8 feet in height. We went out there and visited the area, me and my wife, this past weekend. The area is very plentiful in blackberries. There were blackberries everywhere on that property, surrounding the entire fence line of the property. And one other key note that she had mentioned was she's got a beagle that sometimes stays out in the backyard in a kennel. And she said that the beagle has been particularly interested in a certain area of the property, always keeping an eye out in that direction, and just, at times just going crazy, like as if there's something there. So what we did was we looked around the property. We probably spent a good couple hours there talking to her son and her, and then we all kind of got together and we decided on where they seemed to think that most of the activity has occurred, and we set up a game camera. So we got a game camera set up. Another interesting thing about the property is it's very close to a landfill. The landfill from that point is probably less than a quarter of a mile. And we've heard that in the past, about sightings in and around landfills. So, I mean, there's a lot of key factors there. There's a lot of water out there, berries, Oh, another key point was that there was a game warden that had came and asked them some questions about if they had seen any strange animals in the area, which I found kind of odd, because they had recently meaning since last fall, they've had in the neighborhood there, they've had a goat killed or a sheep killed with the innards missing. They've had a German Shepherd with a broken neck, and they've had a cow that was killed with its innards removed, all within, a stone's throw of the property. And, when you add all that up, I mean, it becomes an interesting subject. So, anyway, we've got a game camera set up in an area where she feels that things pass through. The dog pays attention to that area. They've heard things there. And back during the last snowfall back in February, they found these strange footprints in the snow that, they said just had an amazing length in between the steps. So that's the reason we set the camera in that area, because I'm thinking they may use that as a route to get over to the landfill and back undetected because it's through the woods. So anyway, that answers Bill's question, and we are working. And no, Bill, that is not Gene's place. Gene's place was over in Richmond, Virginia. This is over in Culpeper. And there we go. What else? Oh, let's see here. Hold on a minute. Sorry, folks, my phone's ringing. Okay, I see Mike's doing his work here. We got another caller. All right, is that you, Mike? You back?
Yeah, I'm back, yep.
Okay. I see you got another caller there, so I'm going to go grab them.
Yeah, we got another caller, and I do have 2 other questions, so I'll continue to scan the chat for more questions while you grab the caller.
All right, I'll grab the caller. Ted, you're on the line, buddy.
How you doing, Bill?
Pretty good. How about
you? Good. I'm back in New York now permanently.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, is that good or is that bad?
That's a good thing. Florida's just a little too hot for me. Right now it's about 72 degrees, so I can take that kind of weather.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. I wish that was down here.
Yeah, well, this week it's going down into the 40s, so it's nice.
Oh,
it'll be nice.
Wow.
Cool. Well, here's my question.
Okay.
you verify through a photograph or whatever that they do exist with the scientific community. It's established now. There are the hairy folk out there. Don't you think that could be detrimental too? Now that the scientific community knows that they're out there, verifies that they're out there, you're going to have all kinds of people going after these poor creatures.
Well, I tell you what, Ted, you know, there's a lot of people out there now looking for it, and they're not having very much success.
I don't think they ever will. I don't think they ever will.
These things seem to know, you know, very well what they're doing. Definitely staying out of sight. So, you know, there's probably going to be a few. You know, it would have to be a really good photo or a really good video. You know.
Well, knowing the
really
scientific,
good.
I know, but knowing the scientific community, they would want physical evidence too, and that's what worries me. Yeah. I don't want these creatures harmed or captured or anything in any way.
Right.
You know, that's why I think groups of 2 and 3, maybe 4 at the most, is all that should be out there. And all on the same mental, you know, all on the same level, each with the same objective. You know? So that's my take on it, Bill. That's, you know, I'm sorry if it goes against the grain, but I think expeditions are counterproductive, personally.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, again, I don't want no harm coming to them either. You know, my whole, you know, and I've mentioned what my goal is, but I'm hoping that, you know, there's a lot of people out there looking now. They're not having much success. So I would say their success when they start going into the woods with weapons, trying to take one down. I have a feeling that that'll just drive them even deeper and make them even harder to find. I don't think they will get one. I really don't.
I hope to God, I pray that one never gets shot. I pray that they never get shot. One never, you know.
They're definitely careful, but I have a feeling if any of them let their guard down and any of them got shot, it would probably be a juvenile, a younger one. I think they're probably a little bit more gutsy and a little bit more careless, so to speak.
Like we were when we were young.
What's that?
Like we were when we were young.
Yeah, exactly.
There are things we did then that we'd never even consider doing now.
Right. That's true.
You know, so, yeah, I would agree with you there, but it's like when I jumped that one, it was a juvenile.
Right.
He was only like 50 feet away.
Right.
I walked up on him. I scared him. He scared me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I didn't even have the wherewithal to take the picture, and I had a camera in my hand.
Well, you know what? There again, no one ever knows how they're going to react when they have a sighting. You know, you like to think that you're mentally prepared for the sighting, but when it happens, I mean, let's face it. We all can sit here and say that we know they exist, but when it comes right down to it and we actually see one, especially if you're not expecting to see one, we just don't know how we'll react.
Well, I was walking up that trail, and this thing was watching somebody build the chicken coop, and I didn't see him. He was down behind a log.
Yeah. And
I said, oh, man, there's a footprint. And I took a picture of the footprint. I took 2 steps. This thing jumped up.
Right.
And squawked.
Wow.
And it scared the hell out of me, and I tell you, I must have scared the heck out of him, because he just jumped up, squawked, and took like 3 strides, and he was gone. But he was there. He was there.
Yeah. Now, was that
New York? Yeah. I
Yep.
was in there. I was 2 years ago.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
It was, oh, that was my take on it, Bill.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Ted. Thanks for calling.
Oh, my pleasure. I'll talk to you soon then.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right. And, Mike, I'll let you get to some questions.
All right. You know, we had a couple in there, and then I just had one just now. I wasn't sure if it was a question, so I just asked that person to clarify that. But, yeah, I have a couple here. Let's
Okay.
go back up to Python Man had a question. He says, Do you think you will go on expedition after Bigfoot is discovered?
You know, that's a good question. Again, I think once they're discovered, once we know they truly exist, which, you know, we all sit here and say we know they exist, and there's a lot of people had sightings that say we know it exists. So I'm not doubting that. But once it is discovered, I mean, we got a ton of stuff to still learn. I mean, just because we find it and we prove it exists, you know, at that point, then that opens up a whole new area of study, you know. How do they live? Do they live in family groups? Do they live solitary? Do they live in caves? Do they live under the ground? Do they just live in the woods? Do they build shelters? I mean, there's just a ton of stuff. You know, what do they eat? You know, how do they hunt? You know, do they use tools? Do they not? I mean, I think it just opens up a whole new, so as far as expeditions are concerned, it would probably be more of an expedition geared towards trying to locate, you know, a home range or whatever and try to find a way to observe them. Of course, we're not having any luck with that now, so what makes the discovery make us have any more luck, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I'd like to think that we will find a way that we can observe these things, you know, in the wild, so to speak. But whether or not that can happen, I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
We just start chasing chupacabras and Jersey Devil and stuff like that.
What do you think, Mike?
Say again, Billy?
I say, what do you think? I mean, what if you're asked that question? I mean, the discovery, if it's discovered, do you think there'll still be more expeditions?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, once science has a body, or two, or whatever it's going to take. You know, some people say that it'll take at least two because they'll claim the first one is some kind of a one-off, you know, mutation or whatever.
Right.
But whatever it takes, you know, once science is you know, satisfied that there's a new species out there, I think there's still going to be a lot to learn about it. Now, whether amateurs will still be getting out there and trying to learn more about them, or whether at that point, you know, it'll basically be, you know, basically taken away from us. You know, will the scientists step in and say, well, now that this thing is proven, you know, to exist, will they not want, you know, the quote unquote, you know, public, you know, unscientifically trained public to leave them alone and leave them to the, you know, the people better trained to do that kind of thing? You know, will we kind of get pushed out the back door, so to speak, and, well, nice of you to prove to us that it exists, but, you know, now we'll take it from here kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, now that y'all did the hard work, now just get out of our way.
Exactly. And yeah, it's a shame to say that, but it, you know, that something like that may come to pass. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, that's the way it goes, though. With you know, that's the way all things go.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's still things, once even that you prove that, okay, they exist, you still have to learn about them. You still have to learn all sorts of things about them. You know, their mating habits, how long they live. You know, different areas they're going to. I mean, you know, there's a lot that you still have to. Do they, in fact, you know, make any of those stick structures or rock formations that people are finding? You know, all this kind of stuff. You still have to figure all this out. So, I mean, I think there's still a place for people to study it if they want to. But the question is, will we be allowed to? You know what I mean? Or will the quote unquote authorities swoop in and say, okay, you know, nothing to see here. Move along, you public. You know, let the scientists take it from here. I don't know. That's the question.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
All right, do you have any more questions before? Because I'll go screen a call, but I'll let you see if there's any other questions in there.
Yeah, we definitely got some other questions here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. I got like 5 questions, and
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Henry said that he typed something in here. I have to scroll back up and find it. He said he typed a statement he wants me to read, not a question really, but a statement. But I have to get up there and see if I can find it. But anyway, let me read this next question. This next one was from Watch One, and that's Mike from the Alabama forums, and he says, what makes an outing/expedition a success? Finding evidence, finding tracks, hearing sounds, or will it take everyone seeing a Bigfoot? You know, I guess he's asking your opinion of what makes a successful expedition.
I think everybody has probably a different opinion of what's successful. You know, this past April expedition, the only reason I called it successful, it wasn't because, you know, different members had different things happen. It was because we had, you know, 30-plus people there from 5 different states, from 5 different Bigfoot groups that actually all got along and was able to cooperate with one another to pull the thing off.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that was a success.
Yeah. Well, not only that, that was historic. That was history in the making. You know, nobody's ever done that. So. Right.
So, you know, that in my opinion was a success. Now, did we bring anything out of the field that was you know, hardcore evidence? No, we didn't. I mean, yes, different people had different experiences. You know, we had the incident where, you know, Gary and Brandon had something come out and hit the Jeep and leave a footprint behind the Jeep. We had Alita and Dave who reported hearing something walking bipedally and seeing eye shine, and then, of course, the famous duo of Tim and Toby coming over and confirming that very fact that, yes, there is something out there walking. I mean, they even expected to see somebody tromping through the woods with a flashlight and come out at any minute. They said it was so close. You know, so we had that. You know, we did hear the scream that one weekend real early in the morning. I heard it when I was in the tent. But everybody else, there was still some people up that heard it, and they said it was just unbelievable, you know, vocals. So, yeah, I mean, success in the fact that we had what we would have to, we ain't got no choice but to call circumstantial evidence. But, you know, to a lot of people, that was success in itself because, you know, from their standpoint, especially the ones that were directly involved, you know, as far as they were concerned, they were having activity from a mysterious beast that they thought was Bigfoot. So.
Hey, Billy, go ahead. My 2 cents worth on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Any outing that you have, whether any activity is done or not, is a success because you are out there actively looking. You're not sitting behind a computer. You're not sitting there reading a book. You're actually out in the field, and you're trying to do something to find evidence.
Right.
Any expedition is a success as long as you're doing that.
Right. Yeah, and it's, you know, God, I wish I could get out more than I do, and I know everybody does, but unfortunately we all have bills and we all have full-time jobs or part-time jobs. You know, well, I ain't going to say that because some of us may not, but, you know, it's thanks from that guy from Illinois. I didn't say that, did I? Did I say that? But, you know, it's, you know, God, I wish I could get out there more often, but I just can't. I mean, I'd like to go camp every week as far as I'm concerned, but just can't.
Well, you know, you got your invitation from us for August.
Oh, I know. I know that, Steve. You know, and I am. We're going to try very hard to make it, but you know, it's the way the work is right now and everything that's going on. It is just I'm living day to day at this point, just trying to figure out what I can accomplish. Because you know, don't get me wrong, I am not complaining. Work is good right now, and while it's coming, I got to take it. So. Was there anything else in there? Yeah, you said you had several questions, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. We still
I'll tell you what, should I go over and at least screen them calls?
Well, I see just now that two lines opened up since last time I looked. There's Skype calls.
3 of them just opened up.
Yeah, well, the third one, yeah, I saw the third one there, yeah. All right, well, Well, do you want me to do that, or you want me to read the question and then?
Go ahead and read one more question, and then I'll go and check those calls out.
All right. And maybe I can throw some of these questions at Steve here. This question was to you, Billy. I guess something you were mentioning earlier. I missed so much of the show screening all those calls, so
right.
I'm not sure what was discussed. But Chris Bennett says, what color was the eye shine, Billy?
The eye shine that was in, it's kind of hard to say because the video, when it shoots in night vision, everything's kind of like black and white. So the eye shine that was seen by Toby and them through the camera, we're not sure. Now, there was some other eye shine that was seen, or what we think was eye shine, seen near the camp. And I won't mention that person's name because I don't think they're ready to come forward with that information yet. But that was a red color eye shine. And that was seen, we went back and took measurements, and that was seen at a distance of approximately 100 yards. So, and the height was pretty good too. So that's what was seen eye shine wise. We're not sure about the eye shine. I think Alita and Dave may have mentioned a yellowish green color, but don't hold me to that because I'm not. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know the red eye shine was seen by two people on the expedition.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you and Steve talk it up, and I'll give you a break, and I'll go over here and check some of these calls.
All right. Fair enough.
Be right back.
Okay, Billy. All right. Hopefully, me and Steve can handle this here. Okay. Let's see. Next question was from Dale Bowers. Says, is there much Bigfoot activity in the area of Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, the border where the three states come together? I can't speak to that because I've only been down to Virginia twice, and I've never been in Tennessee or Kentucky. You know much about that, Steve?
I know that there has been quite a bit in Kentucky, but as far as Virginia and Tennessee, well, that depends on. We all heard stories that come out of Tennessee, but yeah, out of Kentucky, I'm not quite sure down in around the area where all the states meet, but at Boone National Forest there's been quite a number of sightings there, and I guess Boone's kind of like central Kentucky. If I got my geographic right here, but I know there's been some sightings out of Tennessee because I'm just not that good. I can remember reports off the top of my head, but as far as West Virginia goes, I know I've had a sighting down right on the border of Virginia and West Virginia. So, but other than that, I can't speak too much on either. Yeah,
I guess he's asking about this specific area where kind of the three states all merge there. They all meet in one area. And I honestly don't know. Maybe when Billy comes back, we'll throw that one at him. Maybe he would know. He can't hear right now while he's screening the calls. So maybe we'll skip to the next question. Maybe we'll throw that one at Billy when he comes back. Let's go down to the next one. This one was from Spin Dave. And Spin Dave says, by innards, do you mean just the liver, lungs, heart, kidney, or do you include the stomach and intestines? I guess this has something to do with what Billy and somebody else.
Yeah, talking about down in that area where they had some cattle missing, and Steve said that the insides were missing. I would say it would probably be. I can't answer for Billy, but what my guess would probably their heart, liver, and I don't see too much of the stomach maybe going, but the heart and the liver would be and the kidneys would probably be the ones that go first.
Yeah.
But that's another one we'd have to throw back at Billy though. So.
Yeah. I can't really remember hearing of the stomach or intestines of an animal being eaten, but I have heard of stories of animals, deer or whatever, that were kind of gutted, so to speak, that were where their abdomens were ripped open and their intestines were partially spilled out, but I don't remember ever hearing anybody, creatures really going for that as far as eating it, right? Liver I've heard, and maybe the heart, I don't know. Let's jump down to this next one. This was from Z-Wolf. This I can handle for sure, and you can as well. Z-Wolf had said, question, do you guys have a sort of a guideline you go by? Like, do you use radios to talk back and forth and keep supplies like casting material at a base camp or with you? So what kind of stuff do you need to take with you? I think Z-Wolf, he's somebody that, I'm assuming it's a he, somebody that's fairly new to this, because there's a comment he typed in later that I grabbed further down in the chat there. Well, as far as my answer goes, we definitely use radios, Z-Wolf. We have to be able to communicate with each other, so we know where we all are in the field, who's doing what, what's being heard from what areas. Typically we try to break people up into like two-man recon teams, and we go out into different areas and set up observation posts where we basically sit very quietly and listen and watch and see if you hear or see anything. But communication is vital as far as knowing what's going on and when it's going on. So you can tell somebody, hey, I hear noise to your right coming up from behind you, so that you can communicate that to somebody, so that maybe they can turn around with if it's night and they have night vision, they can turn around and face the other way, look with the night vision. Maybe they're not aware something's coming up behind them. Somebody else could be off to the side of them and hear that and tell them. As far as casting materials, I could just speak for myself. I always have casting materials and a full evidence collection kit with me every time I'm in the field. I always have it at base camp, and I have a smaller version that I bring with me 90% of the time. I won't say every single time, but most of the time, a good majority of the time, like 90%, I have a smaller version of that in my backpack with me. And the reason I carry that with me, albeit a scaled down version, I carry like maybe 5 pounds of casting material as compared to at base camp I'll have like 20-something pounds. The reason I carry it with me is because sometimes you may find a track, and it's a good track, and you want to cast it, and rain might be coming, or it could even be drizzling when you find it or something, and if you have to come back 2 hours later or whatever, or even the next day if it's getting to be dark and you don't want to go out at night, that track could be lost to the weather. You know what I mean? It could be just washed out. So I always like to have the casting material right with me, so that if I do find a good track, I can just cast it right then and there. I don't have to run back to camp and come back, like I said, a few hours later or possibly even the next day, and then hope the track is still there. Because not only could the weather destroy the track, but who knows? You could have other hikers, or just somebody passing through and not even looking for anything on the ground, and step right in it and ruin it, or an animal, deer or something, stumble through it or whatever, and now your track is gone. So I always try to carry it with me, but I have a lot more. I have a bigger kit that I leave at camp. Sometimes I'll bring everything I have. So I have I have several canisters broken down into 5 and 10 pound canisters of it, and sometimes I'll bring extra and just leave it in my vehicle, even just to have it, But go ahead, Steve.
No, not only the radios for communicating between stations, but it's also safety too. I mean, you're out in the woods and someone falls, snaps an ankle. If you don't have a radio, you're not going to get a hold of nobody. Yeah,
no, exactly. Safety is a big issue too. I was just speaking specifically about doing stuff on the expedition. I think that's kind of what he had in mind. But yeah, no, absolutely, safety-wise, unless you just happen to be lucky and you happen to be in an area where you have very good cell phone reception. I've only been in like 2 areas, and all the time I've been going on expeditions in the last like 5 years, that or more, more than 5 years, since '04. I've only been in like maybe 2 areas where I had really good cell reception. I'm talking like, 3 solid bars pretty much almost everywhere you go. It usually doesn't happen like that. Usually you don't get any cell signal, or if you do, it's like 1 bar, and it could drop at any time, and, you could lose a call or whatever. Most of the time, cell phones are not, you can't rely on them for communication, so you want to definitely have radios. That's a must.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, Billy, you back with
Hey,
us?
Mike, I'm going to bring this fellow on the line real quick. He's got a story about some eye shine. His name is Bart. Bart, we got you on the air. Go ahead and tell us your story.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Bart.
Yep.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah. No, I got the story about me and my uncle. Ever since he came back actually from expedition with his dad. His dad never came back. But I just wanted to touch on the fact that ever since then, me and my uncle just keep on going on expeditions, and we usually recon the perimeter around our lodge that we built ourselves. And I think it's great you guys are, informing the public about these safety equipment you need to take, like the boots and communication, walkie-talkies and stuff like that. So anyway, I wanted to talk about one of the expeditions me and my uncle actually went on about a week and a half ago, actually. If you guys would care to listen about that.
Go right ahead. You got about a minute. Can you condense it?
Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, it's real short. Anyway, like this last recon, a week and a half ago with my uncle, he came back and he was real injured, real bad. It's pretty interesting actually. Like he said that he tried fucking the Sasquatch.
Okay,
yeah.
Bart Epin, BART.EPIN. He's a Skype user, so everybody copy that down. BART.EPIN, the Skype user.
Yeah, I thought that was coming on. I had my finger on the button, and
I was ready. He didn't mention any of that during the screening, so
yeah.
Anyway, that's okay, because we have Abe here. Abe has some comments about expeditions. Abe, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing this evening?
Good.
Hey, Abe.
Yeah, I just had a comment. I seen that there was a question in the chat room about as far as expeditions still being handy after the discovery of Bigfoot. I just want to say, yeah, definitely, totally. There's still, so after discovery, we discover them, and then after that, there's still more than, that we still don't know about them that we should probably find out.
Right. Uh-oh, I think we just lost him.
You guys with me still?
Oh, there he is.
Okay. Yeah. We gotta know, like average family size. We want to know exactly what it is, what they're eating, and what they can sustain. What are they doing? Are they migrating, following deer? Are they staying in one spot during the winter? There's just so much more just besides discovery, and that would be hopefully an importance to science just as much as discovery for them. So in the long run, I definitely do have to say that, yeah, expeditions will still be a great thing to do. And hopefully science don't shoo us away. Even if that does happen, they're not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing and getting out there and spotting on. I'm definitely going to go out there and collect all the information that I have been since for the past 10 years until, this is a passion for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else but me. And in hopes to classify and categorize these creatures and hopefully protection.
Right.
So
all right.
That's just my 2 cents.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you, Abe.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Mike. Let's talk to you, Indy.
Right. Take care.
All right. Before we go off the air, I just want to tell everybody thanks for tuning in again tonight. We do have another prank caller that I'm going to bring on the air in just a second. I think Mike probably knows who I'm talking about. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight, and join us again next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have us another show, and hopefully I'll have a guest lined up for next week. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And now I'll bring the other prank caller on the line, which is Bruce.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
Lord.
Who did you bamboozle into coming on the show next week?
That's for you to tune in next week to find out. We got 10 seconds. If you guys don't want to listen to Bruce for the next 10 seconds, I'd suggest that you go ahead and call it a night.
Well, Abe already filibustered all the show time away, so 10 seconds is all we're left with.
All right, well, we're off live. We're now streaming, but everybody can still hear Bruce's prank call if they listen to the archive.
That's right.
Well, thanks for the introduction, Billy. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Oh, Kite Squatch sent a correction in. He says you're not a crank caller; he's a steak caller.
Yeah. If we're gonna go a little into the archive there, Billy, there was a couple of things when you jumped off before to screen those callers. I know you couldn't hear the show. There was a couple of questions specific that I think were kind of directed at you, and then Z-Wolf, he had a question, but then he also wanted me to tell you. He said, Mike, I've been talking to Billy for weeks now, off and on. I'm new to Bigfoot research, but I'm very interested. He says to tell Billy I am from Matney Flats in Whiteville.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, I know exactly who it is.
Okay, so he just wanted you to know that.
Yep.
Henry wanted me to read this. This is just a statement, not a question, but Henry wanted me to read this on air. It says, there is something in Oregon called salal, S-A-L-A-L, I guess that's how it's pronounced, salal, which grows on hillsides and may be a good food source for the Sasquatch. So I guess that's a little tidbit of knowledge there.
Is that why everybody was calling Henry Google?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Real quick, Dale Bowers had called earlier, and like I said, you were screening calls, and he had asked, is there much Bigfoot activity in the area of where Tennessee, Virginia, and Kentucky, where the three states kind of come together in that general area? Yes, sir.
That's a big yes, sir.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the gentleman that you were just talking about, the one that you said just so you know, that's actually pronounced Withville.
Okay.
That is exactly where he is, and yes, there is a ton of activity in that area.
Well, he typed the town as W-H-T-I-E-V-I-L-L-E, but I figured it was probably a typo, you know. And
it's actually W-Y-T-H-E-V-I-L-L-E. So it's actually, some people do call it Weissville, but it's Withville.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
Or if you pronounce it the way I'm supposed to pronounce it, because I'm from the South, it's Wiffle.
All right. It looked like Whiteville with a typo in it. That's what I figured it was when I looked at it. And then here, Spin Dave, you were probably mentioning earlier in the show about maybe deer kills or something. Spin Dave says, by innards, do you mean just the liver, lungs, heart, kidneys, or do you include the stomach and intestines?
Actually, they said everything, the whole inside. Everything was gone. Stomach, kidneys, heart, the whole 9 yards.
Basically,
all the innards were removed.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So there you go. Those were specific for you.
Well,
so that's all I had.
We tried to answer them.
What's that?
We tried to answer them, but me and Mike was kind of floundering on them because we wasn't sure.
Well, you could always have Bruce, because Bruce could always make up a good story.
Well, there you go.
He could always make it sound educational,
What can I always make sound educational?
Everything. That's like Henry was talking about that plant up there in California. Bruce probably knows more about that plant than Henry does.
How does Henry know that Bigfoot likes to eat that plant?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's calling me that. I don't know.
All you got to do is put AD on the back of it and be salad. Bruce will know all about that.
No, Bruce don't like salad. That is a given. Okay, it's all got to be steak. He won't even eat a steak salad. It can't have any green in it.
I don't even like it when the garnish touches my steak.
Exactly. I was just gonna say when they serve when they serve him a steak, if the garnish is on the plate, he probably sends it back and tells them to hold the greens. He's just bringing
the only thing that Bruce will eat that's green is key lime pie. That's it.
Yeah.
But
hey Bruce, just so you know, Bruce, Kite Squatch wanted everyone to know. He says in the chat, we didn't want to listen to Bruce for the last 10 seconds. Popular as ever.
Yeah, well, Kite certainly lives up to his reputation, that's for sure.
He said he's just going to go fly a kite. He won't listen to you.
I think during our expedition, that's all that Kite did was fly that kite.
Well, or attempt to, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't there earlier in the week, but I understand he had quite the technical problems because when I was there, I didn't see anything going up in the air.
Well, I think he got it up. He got one up one time, I think, with some strobe lights or something on it.
Well, was that the time that Killen jumped him in the dark? I think after that he kind of lost the will to do any squatching.
That was so funny. We're like, Mike, it's Alan, it's Alan.
Well, that'll teach him. I told him. I said, next time you walk in front of one of my curiosity lures and you're not using a flashlight or a headlight, I said, I hope for your sake you're wearing pads and a helmet.
I want to know in that one video, where in the hell's Bruce going? He's after something.
What video?
The video that Billy had up on his Facebook thing.
Shush, Andy. You weren't supposed to say anything.
You have a video of me up on the Facebook?
I just got to show everybody how you like to sneak out late at night to steal Oreos.
I have my own Oreos.
We have proof. We have proof. It's as good as the Patterson-Gimlin, okay? It's as good as the PG film. As a matter of fact, you're almost walking the same and actually look in the direction of the camera, just like it. Almost.
Actually, it does. It's scary.
It does, yeah. And he didn't even know he was doing it.
So you're telling me that you actually have footage of Bruce with his hand literally in the cookie jar?
No, he snuck out. Okay, it's in the middle of early morning. Every normal person was in bed, okay, in the tent. This man comes out fully clothed, like he's getting ready to go to a restaurant or something. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, isn't he always, though?
He was completely dressed.
But isn't he always
all?
like
he had the Indiana Jones hat going and everything. Like,
he's always looking like he's going to a restaurant, though.
I know. I guess he had that early, like 4 o'clock in the morning urge, I guess, to get in the way.
Yeah, well, most people count sheep. I think he counts cookies and whatever else, steaks, sugar plums are dancing in his head, and I guess that morning it was Oreos.
The funny thing is, he had the evidence on his mouth, and we just couldn't tell him because it was funny.
So he tried to deny it with the little pieces of cookie in the corners of his mouth.
His lips were black.
Yeah.
I didn't have no Oreos. Okay, Bruce.
That was from earlier, Billy.
Oh no, maybe he just singed his lips on the campfire. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a serious question for you guys.
What?
We kind of ran into a little snafu thing last week when we was out on the expedition.
Uh-huh.
Finding, well, I'm not going to say it was a possible track. It's the ground had been disturbed.
Right.
And we had a picture with camera with us, and we had a little flashlight, so laid down beside it and took a picture of it.
Right.
And well, something else happened, and we picked up the flashlight that we had laying down there and took off and went down over the hill.
Right.
Well, we couldn't find that impression again for nothing.
Right. Right.
What did you? I was thinking about getting those little breakable glow sticks, the ones that glow for like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And stabbing down in the ground on each side of the print that we can be able to find it again.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, anything, even if you had like some kind of little pink, some kind of flagging or something. I mean, anything. anything that you could find again. But no, the glow sticks, I mean, it's no more what they cost. If you want to find it at night, otherwise, just stick you something there that you can see.
Indy, this track that you found, was it a series of tracks or was it one track?
It was one, and then there was a series of just matted down impressions. You understand what I'm saying?
Was it in like leaves?
Yeah, it was leaf littered everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Nothing that could possibly been casted or nothing, but it's just interesting looking.
Yeah, I mean, what Bruce usually does is leave chunks of Oreos to leave a trail back to camp. The problem is all the little critters eat them, and then when he goes back to look for them, the crumbs are gone. So
Billy, I never waste Oreos like that. You should know me better than that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's when he's eating them, he leaves the crumbs. He's pretty messy.
And that's inadvertently, though. He doesn't mean to do that.
Right. God. All right. Was there any other questions that we needed to answer, Mike, that we didn't get to, or?
No. I asked the other questions, and Steve and I kind of tackled a couple of them. But those ones that I read to you when you came back, like I said, I figured you would have a much better idea of activity down in that area, and about the innards question, because I didn't hear any of that.
Right.
Screening calls, I assume at the time. I don't remember hearing that, so I figured you would know.
Billy.
All right. Well, I guess we've wore this show out for the night.
Billy, I just wanted to add, your original question that the show revolved around was, have our expeditions been successful? And I think by that question was pretty much answered. But I also want to point out that, the more expeditions you go on and the more time you spend out in the field, the better researcher you become.
Right.
The more acclimated you get to being out in the woods. Some people just don't spend a lot of time out in the woods, and so it's completely alien to them. But I think once you begin to get a comfort level being out in the woods, I think that makes you a better researcher. And so our expedition successful? Well, I think that in any expedition there's a marginal amount of success in that you gain some experience from doing that.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, that's a good point, because prime example is someone who is just starting on going on expeditions. A lot of times they'll hear the night sounds, and they'll look at you, and they'll ask you, say, well, what was that? Well, that was a barred owl. Some people have never heard of barred owl.
Yep.
Or a whippoorwill. We heard them up there all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a learning experience too. They get to know what the sounds are, and the more they go out, like you said, Bruce, I mean, the more they learn, and just like you said, it becomes a better researcher. So. Yeah,
I mean, for sure, and the more people get familiar with what are natural, normal sounds to hear in the forest, when they hear something that's not natural or not normal, what you would normally hear, that they're be that much quicker to recognize it as such, to recognize it as something that, hey, I better, if I don't have my recorder on, I better switch it on right now and try to get this, So. Right. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for calling in, Steve and Bruce. We actually said thank you for calling in, Bruce.
I know. I'm still in shock.
What's up with that? I mean, it's one thing that he calls in and we actually take his call, but do we have to thank him on top of it? I don't know. Oh, well. I figure I might as well, we gotta let him know that we do appreciate him when he calls. So. Yeah.
Once in a while.
I heard that, Indy.
Never mind. We'll call you here after we're done.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble. I told you not to do that. You didn't listen.
I know. I should have listened.
You'll learn one of these days. All right, Mike, if you don't have anything else, I'm all finished. So,
yeah,
you good,
no,
Mike?
that was it. We covered all the questions. We asked all the questions that were in the chat, and, Yeah, I don't have anything more. So
all right.
Want to thank everybody for joining us again tonight and listening, and all our friends in chat, and everybody that's going to download and listen to the show, in the weeks to come. We appreciate everybody listeing.
And God
Mike,
help them for doing
tell us
for
real
doing
quick,
so.
Mike. Tell us real quick, Mike, who you got on tomorrow night on yours and Bob's show.
Actually, it's not tomorrow. It's next week.
Oh, it's next week. So y'all skipping this week?
Yeah. It's
okay.
It's going to be
Get
next.
right, Billy.
Hey, I can't keep up with them, man.
See, at least Killen has the courtesy to give us a week of rest in between so that we can talk to our therapists.
Okay, well, with that note, then we'll end this show.
Bruce needs that time to decompress between shows. It's important time for him.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Tune in next Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have you a show, and everyone have a good week.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
All right. Good night, guys. Take care. Guys.
A legend passed down through the generations. A myth to some, reality to others. Thousands claim to have encountered this creature from all around the world. Footprints discovered, unidentifiable hairs collected, unusual sounds recorded. Something is out there. Sasquatch Watch Radio. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, interviewing the men and women researching this phenomenon, the latest news and information, research techniques, and cutting-edge technology. True terrifying encounters, as told by those who have experienced them. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Your host, Billy Willard of Sasquatch Watch of Virginia, brings you the most riveting discussions on the internet today. blogtalkradio.com/Sasquatch Watch Radio. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, Sasquatch Watch Radio. The truth is out there. Welcome to Sasquatch Watch Radio.